No camera on this one today, guys, but we will persevere. In this video, I wanted to break down a follow-up to the last video I made, which is essentially the best emails for January 2026. Even if it's after then, these are still great emails that we could still review together. And I just wanted to break it down for you and, show why they are special. So one of the biggest things you're going to notice is pretty much all of them have a great design. Now, I'm going to say this once and just so I can just get through it. Design does matter a lot, and if you probably already know this already, but if you have great copy, an amazing message, and just a great offer, because everybody's like, the Alex Ramosi make an offer so good, people feel stupid saying no, which I 100% agree with. And because of that, you have to make sure that people actually read the offer in the first place. So having a great design helps people understand what the offer is, what the email's about, and wants them to actually go ahead and go through the email. So going through the first one, great design. Your health year starts 2026. A little bit more technical on this one. You're gonna notice that the CTA starting out is at the very top. Now, I like to mention this. You can have a lot of fun with the CTAs. It doesn't just have to be shop now. It could be start now. It could be get ready for 2026. It could be contextual to the email, but it doesn't always have to be start now. Then we have a nice little transition. Perfect example. Funny story. I actually helped make this email, and it was a complete accident how we made it. But this is a perfect example of a transition, right? You see how the background transitions from kind of this background, like a real lifestyle image, to this kind of darkish bluish color right here. With the lady, sitting here holding the two products. Always good to have the products up, front and center. And you go to the next part of the email. What this does is it gets people to not stop and think, okay, I'm gonna have to read another email, right? Because if it was just like a normal, I think I could still do this maybe, right? No, that's too late. But instead of, imagine the blue just started right here and you could still see the woman. It's very hard because now people are like, okay, I just read one block. I have to read another block and another block and another block. These are little tiny things that come up, people don't think of subconsciously, but they're still really important when you're getting people to read the email. Now, the copy itself, most January resolutions don't fail from lack of desire. They fail when digestion, energy, and sleep are out of sync. Very, very important when you're writing the copy, make sure it feels normal, like a human actually wrote it. So, for example, like when we wrote a copy, this is what it looked like, right? It looked like this with a good old M dash, right? We don't want to have that, be there. So we just put a dot, dot, dot. Anything that makes the email copy look human, it's very, very important. And then also just you could no matter what your brand voice and tone is, like whether it be your luxury or premium or fun or good, whatever the case is, just still try to keep it under fifth grade reading level. When you keep it under fifth grade reading level, you're opening up the email to everybody who, I mean, a lot of people in the US or even in the world don't know how to read. So you're making it easier for them to read it. And for people who do know how to read above fifth grade reading level, it still helps them understand and conceptualize the email. Then go into the Melody 2026 detox. This is just like there's something here, but it just didn't appear in the email. But it's a nice little transition. Clearly state out what the email is about, and then at the very end, a little call to action. Make sure that the actual offer is present, right? As I mentioned, you want to make sure that the offer is very present so people can understand it. So what we did is we bolded it, italicized it, and underlined it, right? This doesn't look so appealing, but then when we do this, oh, okay, it's 15% off. It's two free candles, free shipping. I understand, and then the code. But again, very, very easy to understand for this email. Very technical, but it really, really does quite well. Now, this one's another email. It's more valuetainment. As I mentioned, and very often in other videos, most of the emails that we send out are valuetainment based emails. So they just educate the people. Now, I actually got a really nice compliment, or rather the team got a really nice compliment for this email from the graphic we used from the founder. So the founder complimented us on, hey, love the email, love how you guys use the graph, and this is what it looks like. Well, let me break it down. First off, as you could tell, this is AI, but maybe you couldn't tell because that's the point. But if you're ever short on product images or you don't really have a lot of professional photos taken of your product, then just create an AI image. I go through a full tech stack in another video I made like 2 weeks ago, or I posted 2 weeks ago. But it's very easy. I suggest using Free Pick. You could also use Nano Banana and a few other ones, but Free Pick is kind of dedicated for this, so I suggest using it. And then the actual graph itself, perfect example of an infographic. It really doesn't get better than this. You got weights on this hand side, time on the other hand side, and then you could show people like, okay, every single year I gain more and more pounds every December, and then you. This is also very important. Don't just make a valuetainment email just to like I don't want to say not give value, but don't just make it like random. Make sure it connects to a feature and benefit or a problem that your product solves, right? So for Brothers Nuts, they're a healthy snack company, so they make nuts that are very healthy. And obviously, what's a big reason people are going to buy them? Because they don't want to get fat and they want to get healthy. So obviously, for this, we made the email about weight gain. Every December, Americans gain 1.4 pounds on average. Over the course of a decade, it adds to 14 pounds of weight gain. One simple healthy habit can change all of that. And then it goes straight to the called shop now button. But the point is, you link the email and the value you're giving to a solution that your product or to rather to a problem that your product solves, right? Very, very easy to understand. Perfect example. It doesn't have to be long. And again, did you know? Very nice headline gets people's attention. Sub headline, perfect example as well. Americans gain 1.4 pounds every December, and then you have the from eating from junk. But very, very clean email. Just want to go over it. This perfect example of value email, and again the CTAs. Two of them right here, so people could click at the very top and at the very bottom if all they want to do is buy them. Next one, I believe. So by the way, shout out to Max from Wall Copy. He has like this newsletter that he gives like tips on emails that like he likes, and I got this from one of his, so shout out to him. But this email I absolutely loved. Very, very clean, and what I love about it is it matches the brand perfectly. As you could tell, Yum Wolf is like a very luxurious brand, very premium. For them, they made it look very, very clean. The only little nitpicky thing is that they have the M dash, but if people don't notice, they don't notice. But again, we've got signs, valid time and email, 250 studies to be exact. Very good use of social proof. The more you give social proof, it's like, okay, this is like legit. I got studies. It's based on something, not just like a random fact. It gets people to understand like, okay, this is like legit, and they trust the email more. And then again, free shipping on USA orders, $80 plus. I do like this. I've said this in the past. I don't like it when the logo is part of this like little blue thing, or like the for example, if the logo was part of this blue thing, it would look nasty. But whenever we do like free shipping, or you state the offer or whatever you want, it looks really good. I don't think we have it on the other two, but this is a really nice use. Anyways, I digress. Young Wolf uses data analytics to perfect your dog's nutrition with science-backed ingredients for dog longevity, giving you more years together. Very clear call to what their unique selling point is and what they offer. Get my personalized plan, that's fine. And then I love how they have the read the label, we double dog dare you, right? And then here, very, very unique aspect. They literally just sell, they literally just tell you what the product ingredients are. Super, super good. This is the perfect definition of using your product's unique selling points in the most upfront, bombastic, if that's the right word, way. They obviously, what is their unique selling point? The ingredients. It's super, super good for for your dogs. No bad ingredients. Use it. This is a perfect example, right? You look at this one, man, it has million and one different ingredients, and then you have this one, which is the perfect little thing for your doggos, right? And then you have a shop now button. Very, very good call to action. It's good to sprinkle in CTAs throughout the emails to make sure people understand. And then we only use science-backed fats. Really, really good understanding. A lot of people understand that fats come. A lot of fats that are bad obviously are not natural, but when it's natural, it's obviously good. So it's a good, nice little objection pre-handle that you have right there. And then see the science. Super, super good email. Very nice valuetainment. And then this is another perfect example of getting the value to match with the actual product. So it's not just like, okay, this is like a random thing. Like, look how bad this is. Make sure that you use organic fats. No, it's actually linking to the product and connecting to the products they have. Next one, the viral cleanser everyone's talking about. This one is want to speak about more the design more than anything. One small thing, and it works. I'll say this: if you're ever thinking to yourself, man, the designs we make for our brand that we're sending out look very, very plain. Really nice way to spice it up without being very like upfront, or like being like very, I don't want to say bombastic, but like very, very like aggressive, is just having these little icons on the side, right? When you have anything like this, any of these little icons and images, they work really, really well, and then they help lift up the image, the email itself. It's not just boring anymore. It gives a bit of variety and tone to the email itself. So that's the main thing I want to point out. Obviously, the email is clear. No call to action at the very top, so that's something we got to improve. But at the end, shop the cleanser is quite nice. So yeah, very basic email, but the thing I wanted to point out was these little icons. Moving on to the next one, grunts get ahead of the chews. Love, love, love the holiday call out. Very, very simple. One of the, I believe it's 25 email topics we have is holiday and season based emails. So whenever you match an email with the holiday or with the season, it does really well. Our gummies are packed with immunity support. Choose grunts. Nice call to action. And then this little icon right here. Um, Very, very nice. Like it, I like it, I like it. The flowers are blooming. M dash. What is it with people in M dashes? It's AI. And so are your allergies. Luckily, Gruns is here to support your immune system. No pills, no powder work, just gummies that work. Support your immunity. Tasty gummies that show up when seasonal allergies kick in. And then you have a bunch of infographics and little icons explaining what the unique selling points of the product is. Very, very nice. I do kind of wish they made it a little bit more, let me rephrase, a little less cluttered. I feel like it's very, 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 very upfront. But outside from that, nice little use of the gummy bear does really well. Shop Gruns, and then obviously, get grunts for up to 52% off, blah, 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 blah. So I like this one, especially just because of the seasonal call out. They could have just been like, oh, this is like a normal email promoting the product. It's like grunts, let's see how I would have maybe a bad example would have been like grunt supports your immunity, see how. And then that's very basic and very bland. But what they did is they took advantage of the holiday and they used that as an excuse. I'm not saying it in a bad way, that's great. Um, to talk about the product. Get ahead of the choose. Our gummies are packed with immunity support. There you go. So whenever you're thinking of, man, I want to make sure that we don't just promote the product. Just think about how you can match the product that you have and the ways it could help people with a holiday or season that's about to come up. This one was very, very cool. Another one I got from what it called Well Copies newsletter. Super, super clean email. Love the concept. We ask AI for the best budget friendly Christmas gift. AI generated summary. By the way, just a very, very small thing. I absolutely love how the background fades into black. As you can tell, it's black, but at the very top, it kind of has that dark gradient covering the background image. But it looks really, really nice. And then obviously, what's the best, safest, awesomest Christmas gift that won't leave me broke? And then it tells, the product. Love how this one turned out. Super, super clean. Love how it looks. And yeah, anything that's very creative and thinking out of the box, love whenever brands do that. Next one, really, really well. So any emails that get people to click on social media or like an article, anything that's not your product, does really, really well as far as click-throughs go. So a really quick tip is like if you're ever thinking, oh man, my deliverability is not getting as many. Let me rephrase. If your deliverability is kind of bad, and a good way to get your deliverability to become better is to get people to click on the email. Any email that gets people to click on it with like YouTube or Instagram or any type of social media outside of your products does very, very well. The click through rate is insane. But anyways, our place, obviously they're promoting their YouTube channel, coconut chickpea curry. And then obviously, you have Liza, a little bit of a description, watch the episode, meet Liza, a little bit of description right here, shop now button, and then shop the tools from the episode, and then you have the 4 products right there. But anyways, this is a great email. We're actually doing this for some of our brands next year, which is by the time you're watching it this year. And yeah, last little note I'll make on this one specifically. When you're making the email, I would also try to add some gifts. I think that adds a little bit more personality and flavor to it, if that's the right word. But yeah, that's something I would do. And then a very, very last thing, I'm so sorry, but I had to say it. We're as I mentioned in some of the other videos, we're trying to transition out of just email and SMS marketing, although that's obviously like kind of the biggest bull. We're trying to transition more to retention, right? How can we make your email and SMS marketing channel a full omni channel instead of just being an email and SMS channel? How can we make it into an omni channel? And when you're sending out emails like these that promotes maybe your TikTok, maybe your affiliates, maybe your YouTube or organic or social media that goes, sells out very, very quickly. Anything like that helps a lot. So don't just think, oh man, how can I make money from this email? It's like, okay, how can I get this person to find the value in the brand by, leading them to a YouTube video that handles all their objections in a very clear and, in an educational way that in the course of the next week or two, they're most likely not only going to buy, but buy at a way higher average order value. And become repeat customers. So just try to think of it just not only email and SMS marketing, but also just the fact of how can I make my email and SMS an omni-channel channel. Next one, Canning for Grownups. This was probably one of my favorite emails I've seen when I first saw it. Love the way it's laid out, but the biggest thing is if you like this, try that. I absolutely love this little creative right here. If you have some type of product that is coming up against big competitors, or maybe you have just a lot of products as a whole, anything like this would, go really, really well, really well. So if people like Trolley, these are the best gummies to have, right? If people like, Starburst, these are the best gummies to have. If, people like Skittles, these are the best ones to have. And then you swap it out with obviously something your competitors have, and then obviously something of your own product. That does really, really well. We're gonna do a lot of this coming into this new year, 2026, and I'm super excited to use it. Super, super clean email, very, very well. And then the last thing I'll mention with this one is it helps people understand what to buy. Some people may like the product and the benefits, but if they don't even know, hey, like, perfect example, I don't even like chocolate, but I like white chocolate. If you don't make that clear in your emails, or it's hard to differentiate each product from each other, this is a great way to make it stand out. Next one, your brain's best friend. Here are the facts. This is more like a part of a welcome flow, so that's for context. But the most important thing is the layout itself. So we've actually tested this layout right here, where two things are on the left hand side, big old title in the middle, and then three little facts with probably half the brands we work with, and it always crushes. Does really, really well. So nothing too crazy on this one, mainly just the top part. Obviously, here you can promote your products. This one is meant to be a little bit more promotional because it's part of the welcome flow. Um, but right here, you could kind of answer people's objections, right? So if like if well, let me tell you the example here. Your brain's best friend. Here are the facts. Four core ingredients, so people don't think, oh man, this is like 100 different ingredients. I don't know what it's in. Science-backed formula, so people don't think, oh man, this is just some weird dude living in Canada. I don't live in Canada, trust me. Um, Obviously that answers the objection. And then specialist crafted, people think, okay, I want this to come from a real person, a real developer, a real scientist. That answers their objections. Really good email. But yeah, follow this structure, does really, really well. And by the way, if you guys didn't know, I'll link this Figma link in the description, so that way you guys could literally just copy one of the emails, or at least one of the emails that we've made, and then just kind of remake it for your own brand. Next one, this one is another one by Feels. I think no, not yet, but this one's another one by Feels. You got two back to back. Look at that. Paranoia who? Couldn't be us. We do edibles differently. Our microdose gummies have just the right amount of CBD and THC to give you relief without taking a trip to the moon with no return ticket. Very, very nice copy. I actually think that's pretty underrated. I didn't see that the first time around. Like the copy, very fun and very on brand. And then the CTAs, having fun with them. Try them and see them. Biggest thing I want to say to that is it's just a very clean email, right? Sometimes people, I'll say this, obviously, which I'm not even doing a great job in right now, but a big thing within marketing, just sales as a whole, is when you could say something in half the words, say it, right? I don't know who made the quote, but it's like um, something along the lines of, I would have wrote you a better presentation if I had less time, or what was it? I'm not gonna go into it, but the point is, when you make your copy and you condense it a lot and you just make it very, very easy to understand without having to have a bunch of words like I just did right now, it does a lot better. People are more focused. They get they understand the email easier, and then overall they understand what you're trying to get out of it. So we've turned them into believers. Got three little testimonials right here, and then the biggest thing is the layout. It looks really, really clean. They have the gummies here, beautiful background with the kind of the sky look, and then obviously it matches with the framing of the email itself. Without taking a trip to the moon with no return ticket. Looks really, really, really clean. More than anything, it's a great email to understand when you're trying to angle it and frame a perspective on people. I don't want to overcomplicate it because yeah, that's basically it. Next one, another one by Feels. Feels ticks all the right boxes. I can't even read the bottom one, but more than anything, I just wanted to highlight the infographic. I love how they made this. It's not just Feels. This one also looks dope as well. We'll go over that in a second. But anytime you could have products compared up against other products, especially if you have some type of unique selling points around health or organic or anything like that, this obviously works really, really well. And then Feels versus other gummies, as kind of like I told you how we did in the other email. Love how we did this, right? At the top, weight, and then 10-year gain. Another great example of having a graph in an email is what they did in Feels. Can't really read the specifics of it, but anything like this helps people visualize and cuts down on the words. So great email from Feels. Next one, Graza. Honestly, what I wanted to point out on this one, because I'm actually not a huge fan of Graza, I just love the layout, right? Meat, nice wine, fruit and juicy, enjoy chilled. And the reason I put this specifically for January 2026 is, let me break that down. Um, in the new year, or let me rephrase, not only in the new year, but once in a while, let's say maybe at least once a month, it's good to just have a promotional email talking about the product. Why? Because sometimes people get the welcome flow, or let me rephrase, sometimes when you get a lot of new subscribers, they may not have all the context of your other campaigns. So if I were to send another email that says maybe something like this, no, I'm saying something like this, where I'm promoting my YouTube and all these different things, and they don't even know my main product, they don't understand the brand, they don't even know what I'm about, it's nice to give them that one or two emails a month that says, hey, here's the full understanding of what we're about, here are unique selling points, here's why you should buy from us. Anything like this, again, only once or twice a month, and this is a perfect email to do it. It show Obviously for them it's a limited edition product, but for you, you could put meet, our classic bundle, right? And then it's, the unique selling points on this side, the features and benefits on this side, nice little lines right here to make the email pop a little bit more, maybe a little description of the product, and then grab some whatever the product is. But main thing I wanted to point out is the structure and how you could use it to remind people what the brand is about, especially for new customers. A few more and we'll be done. Welcome to Alchemy Pet. We made this for them maybe about a month ago. I'm still waiting on the response. It's in the works. Hopefully, you guys see a whole new Figma file for them soon. But welcome to Alchemy Pet. Get 10% off your first order, blah, 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 blah. And this is a perfect welcome email. I just wanted to break that down. Obviously, I'm talking more about campaigns in this email, but this is a really perfect welcome email to understand, or rather to use in your own products, right? So, welcome to Alchemy Pets. Love how the call to action is at the very top. Product section right here. Most important thing, not the most important thing, but one of the most important things you could do is have the products up front so people could understand, okay, this is like a legit product. Here's what I'm going to get. You want to make sure that there's no, let me rephrase, you want to make sure that there's full transparency in what people are going to get. Science that works using micro encapsulation, 7 times better absorption, zero fillers or byproducts, 30-day money back guarantee. This is a perfect little section that you could use to show your biggest unique selling points at the very top of the email without using a lot of copy, right? And then obviously we added this for kind of a clarification. Shop now button. Again, you want to have a lot of shop now buttons. You don't have to go overboard, but you want to give people as many options to buy. Love plus science, no compromise. Here's a little understanding about what the brand is about. And then this is just kind of wrapping it up like, okay, here's what here's what we are, here's what we do, here's what we're meant, or our mission, right? Shop now button, and then perfect little transition to the three most important products for them. I don't know if these are the best sellers or what we base it off, but they're very important products for them. Immunity, mobility, calming. And again, have a nice little description, very, very short, not too much, but it's straight to the point so people could actually read it. Immunity, mushroom powered, perfect sensitivity, sniffly pups, and it's very, very cut to the point, or straight to the point, and people don't have to read too much. And at the end, if you want to promote one big bundle or the overall bundle, or in the context of a welcome flow, you could probably do a starter flow bundle. So you could say, hey, try our starter bundle, support, aging, wellness, immunity, blah, 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 all in one bundle. So you could try us out for the first time. Something along those lines, and then a shop bundles CTA. Next one, the missing piece to low energy. Again, I wanted to make the January 2026 emails just have a lot more fun to it, not just like a boring, like, okay, here's the product, here's the unique selling points. The missing piece to low energy. Beautiful little, infographic to use, kind of like a puzzle, obviously a puzzle. But it's a nice little way to kind of stop people in the tracks and kind of be like, oh, okay, this is actually pretty cool. And then you lead them into the actual email, why you might be sluggish. You tell them about, again, giving them value, right? Oh, it could be you're simply low on magnesium. Oh man, I need magnesium for muscle recovery, stress, nutrients, better sleep quality. Learn more, and then I'm guessing the learn more is probably going to take them either to a product page or maybe a general page, and then here, listen to your body, tying in the value. So it's not just like, okay, random thing, it's tying in the value, right? You may be low in magnesium, listen to your body, it's sending signals. These are the signals, right? And then obviously the three little products. Here, perfect example. I didn't even mean to do that, but you see how it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. For them, they didn't add a little product description. For them, it worked out pretty well. And then in a shop all button. So this could also be a shop all button. It could be like all your products together and be like shop all. in case somebody doesn't see the product they want, or even if they're like, I know none of these products could serve me, but maybe something else in the brand could serve me even better. You could put a shop all and then lead them to a general product page, and then people could buy from there. Another one is the 28th. So this is for Gray Balls of Flour. Really nice email to get people's attention because it comes from the founder. Hey, it's whatever your name is, founder and CEO of blah, 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 blah. Here, I would definitely include some type of GIF. We haven't got this one yet. This is just a mock-up. So there's not a GIF here. But here you could put a GIF, and then the way you angle the email, or frame the email rather. So it's like if you're talking about what you did in the kind of a year wrap up, right? You're saying this is what we did in this year, or if it's a how we started email, right? Here's our journey. That GIF could include different parts of that journey, different parts of that, yearly wrap up, anything that matches the email. And then, it actually looks like it's coming from the founder. Like, congrats, it's our cyber sale. This is just random copy, by the way, but here you would input real copy that says, hey, thanks so much for being part of our 2026 journey. We were able to make it into 3 new factories, and we introduced 5 new flavors, and we made it on this TV show, and this and that. And then if you want to add a discount code, you can, but just make it come from the founder. Really make sure you make the copy look real. No AI business right here. And then obviously a shop now button for people. And then if in this case we added a discount, kind of like a $15 credit. But in your case, you obviously don't have to. So again, founder-based messages work really, really well. So I thought I'd share this with you guys here. Better, faster, wider, and stronger from Byte. I love their emails, by the way. I suggest subscribing to them. Take a lot of inspiration. Ditch the harsh plastic stripes and try our best-selling whitening gel instead. Shop whitening gel. And obviously, this one's more about promoting the product, but the way they did it is very, very well. Obviously, the headline, I don't think there's anything special about it, except obviously you're promoting wider. That's the main thing you want to promote, which is nice. But I just like the email. Very, very clean, very simple. And this is one of the only times where the blocks don't look bad, right? Obviously, this is a block. I like how they added that little black line to make it a little bit more natural, but it looks really, really well. And then obviously at the end, brighten up risk-free. That gets people's objections to be like, oh man, what if I don't try it? Obviously, now they know, okay, I could try it, and if I don't like it, I could return it. So yeah, great email. Like to use it. And again, this one is promoting more of the products directly. It's pretty upfront, but they did a great job using it. And then lastly, perfect example of an email to have a us versus them comparison. So Crunch versus M&M's. All right, man, we did this a while back. Shop now, which one wins your heart? And then on the left-hand side, obviously, you could put your brand there and then the biggest selling point. So in this case, it's protein. This brand has 10 grams of protein. And then M&M's, which is a very similar competitor, only has 2. And this one only has 3. And this one only has 2. Super, super simple use of the emoji. So it's really, really easy to use. Yeah, look at that. That's beautiful. And at the end, a shop now button. And then also having 2 different products. So for Crunch, they only have 2 different products for this type of category within the brand. So here we obviously put milk chocolate and dark chocolate. If you guys have 3 different products at that point, I would do something more like this, where you have the 3 different products kind of alternating from left to right to left. But anyways, those are the emails. Hopefully you guys learned a thing or two from them. But God bless you guys. Talk to you soon. Hopefully you guys take some inspiration. Jesus Christ loves you, and we'll talk soon.